Well, fair enough. Before we get into spoilers, I want to cover our meta analysis, and what I want to do is we're going to do our Chaos of War segment, which Alex promptly titled our analysis of championships and PQs because that makes more sense than what I named it. But we're gonna go over our stats and everything before we get into any of the spoilers tonight. All right, welcome to our Chaos of War. This is the statistics, analysis, and meta discussion that we have. What we'll do is we're going to go through, I'm going to quickly kind of go through the list or leaders that won, and then we're going to talk a little bit about some of the lists and some of the statistics for it, because there's some interesting things that popped up. One, namely, there's a Palp Blue, which was the first thing I saw, and I was like, holy crap, I don't know if that guy just missed every Sabine ever, but this Palp Blue took down a PQ this weekend, and I was very excited. Alex, did you see that?
I saw the list. I do actually have a local that plays like Palpatine Blue, and was at a store showdown with them where they went 5-0 in Swiss, and I think made the final table before losing. But yeah, I mean, Sabine's still kind of not a great matchup, and space is always kind of a weakness. But you get a little bit better space with blue than something like a yellow.
Yeah.
So that helps.
Yeah. So that was exciting, though. We got to see Palpatine. Now we just need somebody get us a Palpatine showcase is what we need. We also saw Cad Bane creep up to the top. Cad Bane took one down. Han Blue took one down again as well. Then we also had a Palpatine Yellow take one down, which when you see that deck, you're just, I don't know. We'll talk about that deck in a few minutes. Then we had Django. I think this is the first Django deck that actually took down a PQ. There was two of them in this set. But we had Bossk Blue also took one down, which we had not seen before. We got another Han Green, Quinlan Tarkentown, another Han Green, of course, wherever the heck this Louisiana one is, there's a Sabine off for the finals, which doesn't sound like any fun to me at all. Another Django, this is that second Django over in Seattle, taking one down. And then in Dublin, New Zealand, they had another Quinlan Tarkentown. Montreal saw a Han off, a second Bossk Blue taking one down. And then finally we see Han Yellow, of course, taking one down.
But it beat out a Green Vader, which we have not seen, I believe, in any top 8. So That's really interesting.
And I got that list. We're going to cover that list tonight. It's not like super crazy, but we're going to cover that list tonight. So if we look at the attendance total so far, there have been 51 PQs, an average of 76 people, so it went up by one on average since last week.
Well, we didn't have like 40 person in like Italy or something.
Yeah, there's a couple of these smaller ones. I just throwing those numbers off. As you can see, Han is on top as well as Sabine. Bossk Green eked up to third place this week, which was crazy, right? Being able to see that. Obviously, Han and Sabine have the highest win counts. Quinlan's kind of next, which I thought was a little surprising. Seeing there must be a couple of that Quinlan Blue and one Quinlan Green winning them kind of pushes Quinlan up there as well. When we get into the top 8, this is a little bit more interesting. We see Bossk really dominating. We also see Anakin showing up, Kira, Palpatine, Cad, and that. Same with the leaders. There's nothing really that much more interesting other than Palp because of both colors is up there. So I feel Palp becomes a little bit more viable in some of the metas, but I don't know. JJ, what did you play this weekend when you played in your PQ?
Actually, I did play against a blue Palp as my third loss. The deck was a bit different than what I've previously experienced, but they did have a scanning officer in there. They did have vigilance in there. The player that I had actually had quite a few droid token mechanics added in there, so that way they could constantly pop out a droid and then pop that to draw a card and such. And they had really good control of the board. And when you couple that with a couple of the top targets being able to heal damage from repeated attacks, it was very difficult to actually overcome. Because it was a very well balanced like deck there. That it was something that it was really hard for me to get through. I couldn't even beat it even once on it. But yeah, it is a very, very strong deck. It's very similar to what I see on this here, but just adding that extra layer of having extra droid tokens to take advantage for Palp's ability is so good.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this is interesting. I don't know. Alex, do you feel this is still a pretty healthy meta?
Yeah, I mean, you're not seeing a lot of like different leaders outside of like the top 8, but it is different leaders winning the PQs, right? So it's not like one huge deck or one leader, which is great. But it's also like, well, I mean, any person who makes that top 8 with kind of any color leader or whatever that's like pretty vetted out by now will do pretty well, and that's pretty cool. Because I mean, even just looking at like the top like leaders and base colors, they're granted there's a lot of like yellow, red, and a lot of dark in town, but like at least they're, you know, it's varying enough, right? They're all different play styles, which is cool.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that's I like that aspect too. I do kind of agree with you. It would be nice to see a little bit more in there, but I don't know. We'll get to that. I think we got set 4 coming, and there's some cool stuff in set 4 that I think will push a few of these leaders down a notch or two. So this is the Palp Blue deck. Alex, do you want to run through it since you're a resident Palp expert?
Sure. So yes, this is a blue Palpatine deck. It has triple top target, double Salacious Chrome, double Inferno 4, double Regional Governor, double Colonel Yularen, double Scanning Officer. A lot of officials there. Triple Power of the Dark Side, triple Emperor's Royal Guards, double Client, triple Super Laser Tech, triple Perilous, triple Resupply, triple Vigilance, double Takedown, double of the Subjugating Starfighter. That's the ambush one for 4. Double Overwhelming Barrage, 1 Vanquish, 1 Rivals, triple Vader, double Super Laser Blast, double Reinforcement Walker, double Snoke, 1 Avenger, 1 Relentless, and 1 Devastator.
Because they don't know which one they want, right?
Yeah, we got 3 capital ships and they're all different. In the side, you have 1 Restock, a 3rd Colonel Yularen, double Make an Opening, 1 of the Bounty Hunter's Crew. That's the one that lets you return an event from your discard pile. Double Palpatine's Return, 1 more Super Laser Blast, and 2 more Relentless, presumably for the control mirror.
Yeah. Which is funny because why not just run the Relentless main board and then run the other sideboard and bring them in if you need them? I don't know. It seems weird to me. It's weird not having an Avenger, more Avenger or more Devastator in there.
I am all about actually main decking a Relentless in a blue Palpatine deck, honestly. I like the Relentless a lot. Yeah, and I'm kind of contemplating if I were to run a blue Palpatine deck running the Relentless over Devastators, which is wild. But with blue, you know, you have a lot of removal, so you don't necessarily need the defenders like Sentinel and just blast something out of space. The Relentless is nice to help them not, I don't know, fell the dragon you, right?
Yeah. I will say I get the regional governors because they become kind of a sentinel in this deck, because if they name something you just say no. And it's funny because I've been playing online and people are using this regional governor where nobody used it before, and now it's like, well, we don't know how to deal with DJ or tech, so we're gonna just run regional governor.
My local area pretty much always had regional governors.
Oh, I just seem crazy.
It's great. You could just be like, no, don't play red 3, or, you know, DJ tag, or, You can't play Overwhelming Barrage or Triple Dark Raid or Ruthless Raider. Like, it's a really strong card, but it's a 1/4 that dies pretty fast. But that's like where the Emperor's Royal Guards and control, helps to keep it alive.
Yeah. So I like this deck. I think this is pretty cool. Deck. I would say the top end I'm a little confused on. Or like the one Vanquish, an extra Vanquish over a Rival's Fall. I don't know. It's weird not seeing Poggle in this deck. So, but,
well, it is like blue, right? So you're more playing events than you are units for Poggle, I guess. Also, the client's really disgusting. When backed up by an Emperor's Royal Guard, so just a lot to go through while still healing. But yeah, it's a cool deck. I enjoy it. I always like, Palpatine.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one did we cover a Han Blue last week?
I don't remember.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and cover this Han Blue because this was, I think this is worthy because I do feel that this was a little bit different than the other Han Blues that we'd seen. But JJ, what is this Han Blue deck?
Yeah, so this Han Blue here has a couple of interesting choices on here. So first off, our Force Throw, which is something I don't think I've seen in a Han Yellow or Han deck at all.
Off aspect Force Throw, just the one.
Yeah, just the one off, right? So we got 1 Force Throw, 2 Hotshot Blasters, 3 Spark of the Rebellions, 3 POs, 3 Grogus, 3 copies of Yoda, 3 Jedi Lightsabers, 3 Ezra Bridgers, 3 Millennium Falcons, 3 Concord Dons, 3 Village Protectors, 3 DJs, 3 Techs, 3 Paralysis Positions, 3 Waylays, 3 Luke Skywalkers, 3 Han Solos, and 2 Redemptions. And then in the sideboard, we got 2 copies each of Takedown, Fell the Dragon, Change of Heart, Rivals Fall, and Home One on the board there. Definitely a really good mix of Jedi characters in there to take advantage of that single Force Throw. And of course the Jedi Lightsabers to help buff up those Jedi units there as well. I do like the Village Protectors there to help protect DJ when he takes that 1 resource there. And then, of course, the addition of those closers with Luke Skywalker and Han Solo just being able to close out games, doing massive amounts of damage there. Just a really solid options there to finish off a list. And then Redemption being able to heal up the base if you need to, or heal up anybody else that might need it in a pinch is also really great to have on there for a space unit. Definitely a unique Han list. I don't think we've seen something like this before with Han, and it's definitely a really interesting list.
Yeah, like you appreciate that it has the Force Throw and the Home One, so it can run all 4 colors in the deck.
Nice, yeah.
But also, it says 60% of the time it draws every time because you have C-3PO, and literally 30 cards of your deck are 3 cost, so that's what you always call. And it's interesting. It's kind of wild just to not have any 4, 5s, or 6 costs. Granted, they're in the sideboard, but like just main deck in it. It's interesting. I wonder like how it operates.
Yeah, because there's no smuggle except for the blasters, right? So without the smuggle, it feels like, I guess there's DJ. I guess DJ and Tech are technically smuggled too. But it just kind of feels like you run out of cards to play. Because like once you hit your 6, 7 resources, if you don't draw your 8 cards that are your top end, like what are you playing? Like you just, like, I don't know, like, yeah, I'm gonna drop this Millennium Falcon. Well, there's no surprise strikes, or there's nothing that you can use to like buff it up. So I don't know.
I think it would seem to rely pretty heavily on getting like those lightsabers out and having like pretty puffed up Jedi. It does seem kind of like it folds pretty hard to control, but I guess that's why you have the sparks and the one-off Force Throw.
Yeah. It's a neat little deck. This is definitely different than the Han Blue we kind of seen before. Next up, we have a Palpatine Yellow deck. So let's let's go through this deck, because this deck is different as well. It's got at least one new card I've not seen people run before. So we got 3 of the No Good To Me Deads, 1 sneak attack, 3 scanning officers, 3 Bazines, 3 of the Confederate carriers, 3 Poggles, 2 of the, I don't even know, how do you say that? What is that? The
Favorable delegates?
Yeah, favorable delegate. Which I guess makes sense because it's a 1/5. Who's going to kill it?
And it's an official, and it draws you cards.
Yeah, so I mean, it makes sense. Works with works really well with the officials. You have the 3 Emperors, 3 of the Phase 3, 3 Super Laser, 3 Resupply, 3 of the Elite P-38, 2 Waylays, 3 OBs, 2 Change of Hearts, 3 Vader, 2 Maul, 3 Reinforcement Walkers, and 2 Devastators. Now, no Relentless, not even in the sideboard, no Relentless, but they then also have a 2nd Sneak Attack, the 3rd Waylay, 2 Forloms, 2 Traitoresses, the 3rd Change of Heart, and 3 of the Palp's Return. I just do not understand the lack of Relentless. Outside of that, like, I think this deck is interesting compared to what we've seen for Palp Yellow. I don't know anything about that favorable delegate. Like, I guess it's great for a Sentinel, but like, and it's a free card draw without having to kill anything. I don't think I'm would like to discard the card from my hand, though. When you do kill it,
Yeah, I mean, Palpatine, for killing a bunch of your units, especially because you have Poggle, right? You probably have a lot of cards in your hand.
True.
I mean, granted, you don't want to, discard it if you don't have to, but it's not bad. Also, I guess you can, if you're really desperate, you can waylay it back to your hand, so you don't have to discard it and then play it again and draw another card.
True. That is very true. Though I found the funniest thing is waylaying Scanning Officer. It's just you play Scanning Officer, then the next turn you waylay it, and then you play it on the 3rd turn, and you say, "Yeah, Han, you should have killed it when you could have."
It is always fun to also turn 1 sneak attack in a super laser attack.
Yep, that is hilarious too. I would agree with that.
But weird that it's only 1. I mean, I guess I get it. Like, you don't want to like sneak attack in like a Devastator. And you're just like, well, cool. It showed up, swung for 10, died.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's not that bad. I don't know.
It's actually pretty. You gotta think that's like 10 burn damage is what that is. So what does it cost? 5 less or 3 less?
1, essentially 1 less with sneak attack, because you pay 3 less, but you pay 2 for it.
Yeah, like, it's a great game closer. How about that? But you could also put like Timely Invention in there too, and then it doesn't defeat it, and then it does kind of similar things. I guess you can't swing for 10 in, but you can kill
it has
something.
Overwhelm, so
Yeah.
you're hitting for something. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice iteration off the ones that we saw, like the very first competitive stuff out in Cleveland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Although it's actually kind of interesting they didn't go like the English route other than like Vader and Ball, because that was a thing with like Yellows. Like, yeah, that's probably why the Forloms are in the side, right? Because you can just ambush things, and that's how you control it really well, and it gets around other cards, but it also is more susceptible to hand destruction, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think it would just also run the Waylay, all 3 Waylays main deck, and just run 1 extra card. I think I would personally.
I'm surprised like Traitorous is still kind of a thing. Seems a little bit too slow for like the aggro decks that you wanted against.
Yeah, by the time you could play it, even if you ramp for 2 turns, then you could play it 1 turn ahead of Poe. That's about it. That's about all you could do. Like,
yeah, but you can't take the Poe anyways, right? Like,
yeah,
the best you're getting is like a red 3 that might be the most impactful if you're going against like Sabine.
Well,
kind of thing.
That's what I'm saying. They're just gonna ECL that stupid thing in, and then they're gonna discard a card and get rid of your Traitorous, and they get their card back. Yeah, it's a worse Change of Heart. Like, for 1 more resource, I can play Change of Heart, which is so much better because Pelk can then just kill the stupid thing.
So fun.
Yeah, I took this. I took a General Rican from a Leia player yesterday, and she She goes, "Oh, you can have it." I was like, "Well, I waited for Palp for 2 effing turns. It's like I was waiting for you to drop a Luke. I just wanted your Luke. I don't actually want your General Rican. I just want your Luke, but I'll take General Rican, I guess. That's, that's what you gave." All right, so let's move on to the Han Yellow deck. We're not going to go over this deck. This deck is very similar to what we've been seeing. The big one, I think the big change is those rogue operatives. That's kind of like giving them an extra ambush, allows them to ambush on turn 1, so you can like kind of play with your you can kind of go
Saboteur and Raid. Right. They're not ambush.
Oh, those are the Saboteur ones.
Yeah,
what are
the Saboteur
ambush
Raid ones.
Oh, okay. Well, I get okay. So it gives you the Saboteur then. So there you go. So you could it's essentially it's a 4/4 on attack. You could play turn 1, for 3. So it's pretty good. It's a little bit better than the Liberated People card, but
which they also have in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. A lot of this like Han units seem to be like, let's go to a higher health like stat line, which is kind of interesting. You're just seeing that trend go up, like, which is why I assume the rogue operatives are in there, and like the Liberated and like the Zoris and all that kind of stuff, where they're just kind of their health seems to be trending up pretty like a little bit higher, and I don't know exactly why, but it is interesting.
Yeah, I think it's so that it's a little bit to combat some of that other aggro that we see, with people being able to either timely in with the boss or you being able to ECL in something, with Sabine. So I don't know. They have a new adventure in the sideboard, and 1 change of heart, which I would almost think that a second change of heart would be very beneficial. I'm not super high on that new adventure anymore, like I thought I was gonna be. It's okay.
Unless you replay the Falcon.
Yeah.
Either of them or Han, I guess, really, and just hit again. Like, you have a fair amount of ambush. Or it's kind of interesting for Kira, too, right?
Pop it, put a different card down.
Yeah. I don't know. See if they got rid of the card.
Yeah. Yep. I actually had a Han player overwrite their Kira who did no damage to me just because they didn't like that they called resupply, and then I played a super laser tech because I was like, all right, well, I can't play my resupply anymore.
I've definitely done something similar when I was playing that blue-green Boba deck with regional governors and Bright Hopes. Yeah, Bright Hopes. Where it's just like, okay, well, I call TDR. It's getting to the point where like the Fet's Fire Spray is more of a problem, so I just pop it back up with Bright Hope and then put it back down and just call the Fire Spray.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. This is the Duncan Howard list. I don't think we have to go over this list either. This is a very typical Bossk Blue, except for they have a fine addition in as a one-of in the thing, and tech. There's techs in here.
Yep, so, double tech and a Bounty Hunter crew.
Yep, and the Bounty Hunter crew I've seen before. When I played mine, I ran a one-of in mine as well at my PQ. I did not run tech, though. I do like the tech, and they don't have crate dragons. That's the other like unique thing about this deck. There's no crate dragons at all, not even the sideboard. And Chilsons in the sideboard.
I was going to say there's no Chilsons in main deck, which is kind of wild.
Mm-hmm.
But, way to go, Duncan Howard. Win a lot of decks when I get out your winner SPQ.
Yeah, but other than that, like those are kind of really the only major things that stand out about this deck. Going very heavy into Avenger and Snoke, and Palp main deck. So is a little bit of a contrarian. Here's the other version of the deck. This one has entrenched and only 1 force choke in here, but this one's using the Merciless Contest, which I don't think Duncan Howard. Yeah, Duncan Howard did not have Merciless Contest in there. And this one does a little bit more. This one also has 2 crates, so it has a little bit bigger top end, and Chilson's main board. So, but there's that regional governor in that sideboard though. So, I bet you that was brought in quite a bit into the later game against Hans and stuff like that.
It's also really good into the mirror too if you just call Vigilance.
Yeah.
Because usually it's like, oh, first Vigilance usually has an advantage.
Now let's get to a few of the interesting lists. This is a Palp Red that made top 4.
Not just a Palp Red, it's a Palp Tarkentown.
Yeah. Alex, what's this list? And JJ, why didn't you run this list? Didn't you have? Weren't you at Atomic Empire?
I was at Atomic Empire, yes, but I wanted Gar, man. I felt I had a ton of fun with Gar Saxon, not for nothing.
It's a real fun deck.
What I need you to do is I need you to talk to this Jordan guy. We need to do another Palp Red episode, I guess, because like look at this, like he made top 4 at your event with a Palp Red, which I guess is not surprising because they had a Bossk Blue like win the event. So there you go. You guys must have a heavier control meta down there than we have up here.
Yes, for sure we do. Yeah,
love it. Yes. Anyways, this Palp Tarkentown. You got triple the Death Star Stormtroopers. You got triple Salacious Crumb, 1 Daring Raid, triple Force Choke, triple Scanning Officer, triple Kylo's TIE Silencer, triple Super Laser Tech, triple Resupply, triple Open Fire, triple Merciless Contest, triple Traitorous. Wild that they're main decking that to me. Triple Raider, triple Maul, triple Reinforcement Walker, triple Palpatine, double Relentless, double Crate Dragon, and triple Devastator. I love it. On the side, you got 1 Restock, 2 Confiscates, the second and third copies of Daring Raid, triple Palp's Return, the 3rd Relentless, and the 3rd Crate Dragon. Wild list. Super cool. Kind of weird to me that they don't have something like a Grenade Strike with Tarkentown. Seems like that'd be pretty easy, but also like Daring Raid is fine. And Force Choke. Like you have enough ADA and damage in red. Which is what I like. So are you gonna run this deck, Tanner?
Nope, I don't think so. This is I could probably run it. I mean, basically, this deck feels to me like turn 1 and 2, you are stalling and try to murder their stuff, and then you just ramp super insanely hard. That's like must be like their goal, like which is completely different than how we play Palp Red. Like I don't play Palp Red with much ramp. I have a little bit of ramp.
Do you appreciate the fact that it's a red-green villainy deck that doesn't bother to run overwhelming barrage anywhere it is 60 cards?
Yes, I think that's hilarious, and I applaud it because it's by the time you get up to your high-end stuff, you don't need it anymore. You're just like, oh, I can play a Crate Dragon or a Devastator for Christ's sake. Yep. I got 3 of them.
Love the main deck Relentless too. It's just wild to me that they have the triple Traitorous. It's crazy to me. I don't know what I would specifically switch out if it was up to me. I'm not sure.
I mean, think of it this way: you can run 3 Power of the Dark Sides, and it costs the same as Traitorous, and it does similar-ish things, and you don't have to worry about Poe. If you're gonna pay 5 resources, I mean, you could just run triple Dark Side if that's what you want. Like, I don't know what they're using the Traitorous for, because again, by the time you hit that 5 resources, typically Traitorous just against a lot of decks nowadays just doesn't work very well.
I mean, I guess it gives you more options for your Merciless Contest, which is kind of funny, I guess.
That's true, but how many times are you going to have 8 resources? And when you have 8, you're going to play...
That's the problem.
You're going to play those 2 cards. Like, I'm going to play Palp instead, or I'm going to play a Relentless Walker. I don't know. Now I kind of want to run this deck, but not really. I would not run Traitorous.
Yeah, I'd probably swap out the Traitorous for, like, the Black Sun Space Sentinels, I guess, because space is still kind of a weakness. Because your spaceships are the Silencer and then the Raider and then like the big capital ships, right? I mean, triple Devastator is amazing. I love it, but like throw 1 in the sideboard and put something else in. I don't know. That's cool. Yeah. I love it. It's Red Palpatine. Makes me happy.
Yeah, I don't know. The running the Tarkentown is just like, that's a gutsy call. Like, holy crap.
Because there's like the healing is salacious, so it's really like try to just kill everything you possibly can until you hit your reinforcement walkers.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's like it's like I want to hard control you, and then just
you get
murder
the Palpatine ping into Tarkentown, which is cool, I guess. Like you can do it turn 1 if you really, really want to. And it'll kill anything with 4 health. So not Grogu's and Pershings, I guess, but pretty much everything else.
Yeah, anything that matters except for in Han Yellow that you still have a Han Yellow problem with. Not with they play
Force
those
chokes are for.
Yeah, they play those slaves and it's hard to do it. But yes, it would actually be really good, especially if they play the Falcon, because it's like, okay, you can have your 3 damage. You no longer are going to have a Falcon any longer.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, and I think that's a pretty fair trade. I guess the Traderist is good to steal Falcons. There you go. Maybe that's what they have them in there for, to steal Falcons. I don't know.
I mean, you can also just take things like their DJs and tax, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that would be kind of a dirty play. You could play that down.
Stealing a DJ does, but steal their tack when they play it.
You have to steal their DJ the turn they bring the DJ out to get your damn resource back.
Well, you have to kill the DJ too.
Yeah, exactly. Which you can't do on 5 resources anyway. So I don't, that's you just force choke the DJ. That's what you do. They play DJ. You go, well, I have a force choke. Let me have my resource back. Thank you. Draw a card. The next one was a Boba Yellow. This deck is like, I don't know, Alex. Like, I don't know what this deck is. This is JJ. Here you go, JJ. You could go over this deck because this is a JJ deck. I have never seen a Boba Yellow that plays this type of a deck. This has got more one-offs in it.
I'm telling you, man, my style is coming, man. I'm telling you. So we got 1 copy of Hot Shot Blaster, 3 Battlefield Marines, which is a choice, definitely, for a Boba deck. 2 Sparks of Hope, 2 Gamorrean Retainers, 2 Scanning Officers, 3 Cloud Riders, 2 Boba Fett's Armors, 3 Echo-Based Defenders, 2 Millennium Falcons, 1 Huyang, 3 Resupplies, 2 Waylays, 2 Bright Hopes, 2 Modded Cohorts, 2 Kiras, 3 Syndicate Lackeys, 1 Plo Koon, 2 Millennium Falcons, the Lando one, 3 Ewing Reinforcements, 3 Han Solos, 1 Cad Bane, 2 Enfys Nest, and 2 Home Ones. And then the sideboard,
you just flew right through the 1 Cad Bane in that deck.
Yes, the 1 Cad Bane and the 1 Plo Koon too. So we got 3 copies of Sparker the Rebellion, and then 1 additional copy of Scanning Officer, Boba Fett's Armor, the regular Millennium Falcon. An additional Hope, Bright Hope, and I can't tell what the last one is, but
the one that like kind of turns you into a fake phantom.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it really interesting, right? Like, I would probably give up the Enfys Nest to have more Cad Banes. They probably just didn't have enough Cad Banes. Honestly,
he costs 9. What do you like? The only thing that can be played for is the Ewing Reinforcement. Without that, you're not playing Cad Bane.
You should probably get up to 9 resources in this deck, honestly.
But are you going to play that? I don't know.
I would.
Okay.
I've played a fair bit of like yellow Boba, right? Just it's wild to me, right? Like 1 Plo Koon just seems so off because like, I mean, okay, I run a lot lower curve stuff. Like I have like triple Clone Deserters, triple Cartel Turncoats, right? So I have generally more units on the board for Plo Koon. But man, like they flip a leader with 7 health. Plo Koon just comes in there and just one-shots it. Between like Quinlan, Obi, Anakin.
Yeah.
He just I guess even Boba Fett for the one other person running this in a PQ. Anything with like 7 health, just it's so good. I mean, I get the Syndicate Lackeys because they'll consistently do 6. But man, Plo Koon is just so good. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also just not a resupply in my Boba deck kind of person. Or Boba's Armor, but like I understand why that's in there.
Yeah, I mean, I ran Boba's Armor in my Django deck, and I had Boba Fett's too, so like, I mean, it worked. I got it off sometimes. It was also nice just to have that +2/+2 sometimes, but for 2 costs. Like it's like Surprise Strike is a little bit better, but this, if they don't kill your unit, this gives it over and over again. I mean, could you imagine putting like Huyang in there on like Kira and then a Boba's Fett Arbor on a Kira? Like, have fun, take this thing down.
It's also like I get the Battlefield Marines, right? Because they're just the 3/3s are really strong, but like Ryloth militias are right there.
Yeah.
They're 2/3s with raid 1, so you get Boba Fett's ability. And they are a nasty turn 1 play when you just play something else, because then they swing in for 4 with your first turn play, which is huge. Helps racing, and it helps like there's been a lot of times where they're like, I'll play against Sabine or something, and I'll have the Rylos out, and they drop like a Fighters for Freedom or something, and I'm just like, ooh, cool. I'll trade with the Fighters for Freedom. They have 4 health. But yeah, I mean, it looks like my Boba deck if JJ went in there and scattered a bunch of cards around. No, I mean, it's pretty solid. Like I like Hero Boba a lot with Ambush because man, do those trade very, very well. Like there's been times where I'd be playing like against like an Asajj or something, and they'll flip Asajj. I just play Cloud Rider and kill him, which feels bad for them, but it's great. You're 4 resources. They flip Sabine, you play Monte Cohort, and you don't have a Sabine anymore. It's just them trading up and usually still living. Not the Cloud Rider, obviously, but like the Plos and the Syndicate Lackeys and the Moddeds are really nice. And no Admiral Yularen, that hurts me though. The Admiral Yularens are just so good.
Yeah, I mean, you can dump your 1 Hu Yang and your Boba Fett's armor, and I don't know. I would get rid of Spark of Hopes if it were me. I would not run those either.
Well, the Spark of Hope works well with like Cloud Riders, right? Because you have Ambush, so if you run it into things that are going to die immediately, you don't have to wait for your opponent to kill one of your things.
I guess it
So I just don't see why you desperately need to ramp in this kind of deck, because your end game's not great. Like home 1's fun. It's very good. Like the Hans are good. I mean, Cat Bane hits for 7, I guess. That's fun. But yeah, presumably that's more of a U-wing reinforcement thing, or like extreme late game, something happened catastrophically help. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's weird. I don't like the hot shot blasters. Like having one off is just kind of weird to me, especially when a lot of your units just kind of ambush, so you don't
use it.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's like good though. It would be good for like your leader, I guess. Like I could see it being like a leader thing. But that's about it. So outside of that, like I don't think that deck would need it per se as much. So
from my experience, no, but also my deck's different than this, right? So I didn't top 4 at a PQ, so who knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That is true. You got this weekend though to top 4. You gonna run that this weekend? No. You should run that deck this weekend.
I'm just trying to hit like even. That's all I'm trying to go for, and I don't think I'd be able to do it with that Boba deck.
All right. We also have an Anakin Yellow that kind of cropped up. This is interesting because I think we originally thought that Anakin Yellow was going to be the big one versus the Anakin Blue, being as popular as it is, and we haven't seen any Anakin Yellow. Like Anakin Yellow, when I first started testing, with Anakin Yellow was like all over the place. It felt like, and then it kind of just disappeared. But I do like this deck. It could use some Grogu in, but that I would be putting some Grogu in. But it's got 3 Force throws, 2 of the Hotshot blasters, 2 Green Squadron A-wings, 2 Sabines, 2 Sparks, 3 L337s, 3 Surprise Strikes, and 3 Anakin's Interceptor. 3 of the yellow R2D2s. Is that what we get to call them? The yellow R2D2? And then we'll probably get another R2D2 this set.
We are getting another R2D2. It costs 0 to pilot.
Yeah, I know. Shh. I don't think we've revealed that one yet. 2 Red 3s, 3 Ezras, 3 of the Falcon, 3 Cassian, 1 Tech, 3 No Good To Me Deads. 3 Now There Were 2 of Them. 3 Waylay, 3 K2SO, 3 Anakin, 3 Plos, and 1 Han. And there's 0 Bravados in here whatsoever, which is crazy because every other Anakin deck, I swear, has Bravado. Their sideboard is 2 Darien Raids, only 1 Fang Fighter. one more tech, 2 pillage, 2 Kira, and 2 crate dragons. Because I guess if you get that far up in there, I don't think I've ever seen an Anakin deck play like up to 10 resources almost ever. Like it just usually wins or dies. There's no in between.
When I was at a store showdown last week, 2 weeks ago, I don't remember. I was playing against a blue Anakin. Not only did they play a crate dragon on me, they smuggled it out with tech.
Dirty.
That is dirty.
I waylaid it. I'm like, I don't, whatever. Like that just gets out of my way. I'll take the 3 damage to my base, whatever. But like, yeah, paying 11 resources, smuggling out a crate dragon. Never would have thought that was coming in an Anakin deck.
If only you had a traders.
You can't use traitorous. You need
to
reduce
the cost of crate dragon down to 3. I can do it.
You need a change of heart.
That's true.
But even then, why would you do that? Like, why would you ever play change of heart on a crate dragon that's exhausted? That's just crazy.
Because maybe your opponent's just like, I'll do the 6 damage to the crate dragon instead of your base.
So you're still giving them a 10/10 back.
Yeah. Well, it's got 6 damage on it.
No.
But yeah, I think a lot of the, as we were talking about earlier, the yellow Anakins, I think that was a lot of it is because people are like, oh, now there are 2 of them. That's an incredible card. Let me run every conceivable deck with that. And so you got a lot of like the Anakin yellows running out of there. That's what I blame for that popularity. Because I mostly saw blue Anakins, but I also wasn't like building decks super early when everything was just announced, right? So
yeah. Which it's kind of cool to see the Anakin unit in there. Like it's nice to see that card in there. Like I don't know how well that works in this deck. Like it is a 6/6, for 5. So like it's weird not seeing Poe in here. But
you can't now. There are 2 of them into a Poe, right? Like you can with Anakin. So
exactly. Yes. No, I agree with you. I just it is just a little weird that there's no Poe, but I do understand why. I like the 3 Plo Koon. I think in this deck that's great because that Plo Koon's going to come out, and you can bring that out on an Anakin churn if you really want to.
Do you appreciate that you can now there are 2 of them, an L3 or an R2D2 into a K2SO because they're droids?
I did not know that, but that is amazing, and I love that even more. That if I played against this deck, if somebody did that, the first thing I would do is get up and shake their hand and be like, all right, bravo. Love it.
You can already get there because you have Rebel stuff, but also just like, oh, R2D2 and L3 are droids source. So is K2S, so that's kind of cute.
Oh, you could do an IG-11 too, right? You would do it. Oh my god. Man, there's like could we make a full droid okay, let's just stop and keep moving because
full on droid army.
Yep. We'll be here forever. I will say the one thing in their sideboard I don't like is I would have more of the Fang fighters for the confiscate stuff. But that's about it. Yeah, that's what I would the way I would go with that. But other than that, it's pretty solid. The last one we're gonna cover is a Hondo Green. Hondo Green. Like, what is
Flashback to set 2 for me when I was playing Hondo Green. It's so fun.
This is hilarious. Like, my son immediately texted me and said, "Are you going to run this at your PQ?" And I said, "No, I don't have enough practice. Will I run this possibly at a Stores Showdown?" That is possible. I have the Hondo showcase, so I am all about running Hondo. I love Hondo, actually. So, if you didn't know that. All right, who wants to cover this deck? I don't remember who we're on anymore.
I'll do it, I guess.
Okay,
so Hondo Green is ECL. Worth noting. You got double Salacious Chrome, triple Timely. Very good with Hondo because you can smuggle that out and give someone experience and ambush them. Triple Colonel Yularen, triple Collection Star Hopper, triple Gamorrean Retainer, double Mazamita, triple Concord, or not, Consortium Star Viper, I don't know, Concord, oh my god. Triple Phase 3 Trooper, triple Super Laser Tech, double Resupply, double Merciless Contact, triple Command, triple the Enterprising Lackeys, which are just so huge in that deck, they're disgusting. Triple Overwhelming Barrage, triple Pirate Battle Tank, triple Maul, triple Reinforcement Walker, double the Arquintus Assault Cruiser. which will be crazy next set, by the way. Just throwing that out there. One Relentless and double Devastator. In the side, you got double Scanning Officer, double Rook, which works pretty well with that timely intervention. Double Vader, 2 more Relentless, and then two the Endless Legions, baby.
So what I want to know is that just for like a boss control deck or something? Like you're like, all right, I'm just gonna never play a unit and I'm just gonna resource everything.
I mean, you have like a lot of ramp between the Super Laser Tech, the resupply, and the command. So like you can hit it. I've done it before in my green boss, but I don't run Endless Legions or Green Hondo, sorry. But I don't run Endless Legions. But what would be hilarious to me to personally like just ultimate disrespect someone is to play Endless Legions and only take out the ships that you required from the Arquintus assault cruiser that are theirs. Play it on yourself. I think that would be the ultimate disrespect move. Not even just taking out your own stuff out of there.
You're like, oh, screw you, I'm to take this. I don't know. I like this deck. There's not as much smuggle in here, so they're not. This is more of a ramping deck, I think. Than
yeah. Well, I mean, you got like the pirate tank and the endless like the lackeys are the huge part of it, and the star hoppers, the timelies. But there's not really that many other good green smuggle cards for that kind of deck. So like you don't get Lompikes and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, well, I'm not going to put in that stowaway guy that gives like +2/+2 if I have initiative. If I smuggle him out for like 4 or whatever, that guy's garbage.
For 6, it's 6, baby.
Oh, it's something. That's
it's yeah. You get 4. He becomes a 6/6 for 6. He's in a Hondo deck. He's okay at best. Like. Because you're getting that extra, resource or whatever, with Hondo. So,
yeah, I mean, I would play this. I might switch around some things. I probably actually, honestly, just throw in a 3rd resupply and just be like, I still need to ramp, so that's what we're going to go for.
Should we play this at the PQ this weekend, Alex? We've never played this before. We could play this together. We could be the 2 people that fail.
I mean, I've played Green Hondo before, so like I might do a little bit better. No one would see it coming.
Nope. I played Blue Hondo. I played Blue Hondo quite a bit.
So much different than Green Hondo, let me tell you.
Yeah, I miss my Grievuses, so. Well, all right, those are the cool decks. That's our Chaos of War. Oh, we didn't cover the Vader deck. Let's go back. We're going to cover the Vader deck. Sorry, I apologize. That's the one I did want to do because it did also go 6-1 in Swiss, which I thought was interesting. And we haven't seen much Vader. So, JJ, what is this Vader deck?
Yeah, so this is a ECL Vader. I mean, hell of a way to go, right, with Vader ECL. So we got 2 copies of Force Throw, 2 Salacious Crumbs, 2 Timely Interventions, 3 Force Chokes, 3 Seasoned Shore Troopers, 3 Gamorrean Guards, 3 Kylo Silencers, 2 Star Vipers, 2 Fifth Brothers, 2 Fallen Lightsabers, 3 Phase 3 Dark Troopers, 3 Super Laser Techs, 2 Black Sun Enforcers, 3 Resupplies, 2 Overwhelming Barrages, 2 Darth Mauls, 2 Ruthless Raiders, 2 Kylo Rens, 3 Darth Vaders, 2 Reinforcement Walkers, 1 Relentless, and 1 Crate Dragon. And then in the sideboard, we have 1 copy each of the Crate Dragon, Pillage, and Devastator, and then 2 copies of Colonel Yularen, 3 Scanning Officers, and 2 Disabling Fang Fighters. Probably going to keep those Scanning Officers handy in case you do run into some smuggles like the Hondo deck that we just covered there. But really interesting. I mean, you got a nice amount of good like early aggression with some of these cheaper units that you can go out and deal some damage, but you also have the ramp with, the Super Laser Techs and the resupply in there. Maul and Ruthless Raiders are just such good targets for the ECL to come out, to just do some damage immediately out there, and then just finish it off with the rest of your list there. This is a really tough list to get through. You have a lot of great options for the Overwhelming Barrage, and it can punch really, really hard. It's really good.
If you leave Kylo on the board, you do not kill Kylo for whatever weird reason, you have Reinforcement Walkers and your Crate Dragons that actually benefit from it too. which is a very, I don't know if that's like unique or not, but that is a very cool thing.
Well, you can
be able
also
to
do
do.
it to your Star Vipers and your Gamorrean retainers.
Oh yeah, well yeah. By that point, well yeah, I guess
Well,
maybe
Star Viper would be kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
that one I
Kind
can
of
see.
annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. Like this is an interesting deck. Again, the sideboard is a weird amalgamation for me, and this deck does have ramp in it too, so it. I don't know. I don't like the timely intervention, but I guess it's great for us. You know, you can smuggle it and use it later in the thing. It's weird not seeing Yularen though in that main board. That's just very weird for me seeing the main board, especially with 25 health. Like,
If only they had like a one-off Palpatine, then they can run 4 of the convention exclusive black cards between Maul, Kylo, Vader, and Palp. That'd be cool. That's what I would do.
yeah, you could just drop one of the Vaders really easily and just put a Palp in and call it a day.
Just the one-off.
Yep. And there's
just in case.
there's no open fire, by the way.
Yep.
Like that's a little weird for me too. I mean, you have a
That
little
is
bit more
weird.
more force throw units that you can use. So like Fifth Brother, you could play force throw on the third turn with Fifth Brother, which is still pretty dirty. I don't know. It's a neat deck. It's definitely different than what we've seen. And it is nice to kind of see Vader make a little bit of resurgence again. So. All right. Now that truly ends our Chaos of War PQ analysis.